Hello guys, I'm at the channel. Today we're going to film Wonder Woman movie review. Now I'm going to say we're a decent bit into this movie, DC movie review franchise. It's going to take a while also because I also got Scream and Rocky to do. And I'm going to kind of do them simultaneously, so it's going to be like one video of each, and then I'm going to see the movies when I do see them. And yeah, so let's get started. Start with what this movie's about. This movie is about this girl of Diana who's a part of this whole tribe or island of Themyscira, these group of women, which the island's all women. It's called the Amazons. And she grew up kind of a naive person who learned to fight and become a great warrior. And then at one point there's this person named Steve Trevor who brings basically a whole war with him, who's there following him, and then he lands on the island, and then they go off to, and then she learns about the gods when she was a child, and then her and Steve Trevor go off into the world of men to fight Ares and save from just end the war, essentially. Now we have the good, and I think what this movie does so well, it brings us this character of Diana, who's this very naive warrior, but who also is very, she has a great heart and great intentions in the end. I think that's what just works about the character in this movie and all the other DC movies she's been in, and has this sort of interest in Steve Trevor and this doubt about mankind and sort of how easily corrupted it is, and learns what actually goes on. So it's interesting. I like what they do with this character overall, and the side characters are great. All of the other little soldiers in that little group with them, Charlie the sniper, the other sniper guy, and the guy that looks like what's it called from Indiana Jones, the guy with the beard, I guess, I don't know. Those characters are fun, and Steve Trevor, played by Chris Pine, another great character, and played by a great actor. So overall, I really like all the characters here, and for the most part, I think it's just like a fun kind of world of World War One we're kind of getting sent off to. There's some great action sequences, in particular the No Man Land sequence. I sort of like what they're trying to build at here, if Ares, the god of war, is really what's behind this, and sort of figuring that out, and the whole thing we're learning about Ludendorff as we're getting to the war as well, I think works for the most part. And overall, I think Patty Jenkins directed this movie pretty well. Looks cool. I think some of the Snyder I think some of the Snyder slow-mo stuff, like when she's in the No Man Land sequence, I think is great. And overall, I think this movie it tries to sort of make you want to be your best self, sort of. And I think that's what works. It's a very encouraging movie. And I think that's what I like about this character of Wonder Woman. And yeah, Gal Gadot's great in the role. I really enjoy this movie. I think the whole world of Themyscira and this island of just all women is interesting, and see how it kind of compares to the island of the world of man, and see kind of what their lives are like is interesting, and how it kind of compares. It's like a whole different world in there, essentially. And seeing what Diana discovers of this world of man and how she kind of warms up to it, but also has all these doubts about it, and her worldview starts to mature. She gets out of that naivety. Is a nice little journey for her. And overall, this movie just works. I think it's a great, entertaining movie. And I think a lot of the fish out of water comedy, where she's wearing armor and wants to fight, and the whole dance, the whole dresses, she puts on a dress, she wants to, but it's all a lot of fun. I think it works for this character, and sort of how she learns about mankind. And overall, I think this movie is just kind of encouraging, and with specifically like Diana's sort of character arc and her sort of novelty and nobleness, I guess. And I think that's what just works about this movie in general. But it does have some issues. Now we have the bad, and really what kind of kills this movie, because I think up until pretty much the end, I say it's actually really good. I mean, it's kind of weird how do you figure out how to end this movie, because it's not really about World War One, but it's not really about Ares, so it kind of has trouble battling with the two things. But it doesn't really bother you throughout the movie. I think it bothered me throughout the movie until you really get to the end, where you can kind of see that sort of, I know they had sort of a complication. Patty Jenkins wanted to do something, but then the WB wanted to do this because it's a bit more flashy or whatever, and it just doesn't work. The action sequence between her and Ares, I like the novelty of it, and I like parts of it. In the final battle, like with the stuff with the plane and Steve Trevor having to sacrifice himself, I think that works. But the battle with Ares is just kind of another one of those CGI fights with a lot of bigness to it, which you kind of sort of can see how powerful Wonder Woman is, but the way she's able to defeat Ares just doesn't make much sense to me. Never thought it did. And overall, I just don't think that this is the right ending for this movie. Where I think but here's the thing. I say that, but I don't know what the right ending would have been, because maybe just her coming to maybe more dramatic ending than a fight, and then the long exposition dump on Mankind throughout there was just not that interesting also. And then the whole thing with Ludendorff, I guess, came to a nice end. I think Ludendorff and Dr. Poison are interesting enough villains. They work just fine in the movie, but just kind of having Ares just kind of thrown in there kind of just... I wouldn't say it ruined the movie. Like, it doesn't really make me really, like, kind of think about the rest of the movie in a different way, but it does make this movie so that it doesn't have a very good final battle, that's for sure. But I will say, the Steve Trevor death is pretty emotional, and I do think there's some things in general about it that I think work. Like, on the emotional side it works, but on an action spectacle level, I thought this final battle was just kind of... I don't want to say dumb, but it wasn't good. But, yeah. For this movie's final score, I'm going to give it a 9.2 out of 10. I thought this was actually a great DCE movie, another good one of these movies. And I thought it worked. The characters are great. I think the world of the Themyscira is nice and beautiful, and how that contrasts the man's world. I think is good. The villains or whatever. But overall, it's just that ending is really kind of what killed it for me, or at least that final battle. And it kind of sours me on a little bit of the movie, I would say, because everything else is so good. All the other action sequences that they had, especially the No Man Land fight, was really good. You would just have this sequence, and it's just kind of forgettable. But did really enjoy this movie. Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below. If you didn't notice, I filmed this video literally a day after the other one because I just had no time on Saturday, so that's why the lighting's different and I look different. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. Go see us next time. Adios.